Now, breaking news from Northwest Cable News.
We're following breaking news out of Western Washington about a man who drowned yesterday while river rafting. Our Seattle affiliate identified the victim as Everett City Councilman Drew Nielsen. He drowned in the Green River near Black Diamond. He was an experienced rafter, was with his wife and a group of friends at the time. Investigators say conditions were so extreme his raft flipped over and he ended up in the water.
That's one of the risks of the sport. And they did have proper safety equipment on, and he had a proper life vest on. But the force of the river, again, it's fast and it's cold, and it took the life jacket right off of him.
A dive team found Nielsen trapped with his raft at a place called The Nozzle. He was an attorney who won re-election to his third council term last year. Next on Northwest News Weekend, she endured a horrible loss. What this mom wants you to know to keep it from happening again. Then a spiritual leader at odds with his flock. Why their battle now heads to the courtroom. And a message of unity to the class of 2012. A look at the Northwest visit from a Nobel Prize winner. Thanks for joining us this Sunday. I'm Stephen Kilbreath. Your news starts now.
This is NWCN. Northwest news and weather 24 hours a day. Now, Northwest News Weekend.
On this Mother's Day, one Northwest mom is using her own tragedy to keep people safe around the water. She's fighting to make life jackets available to everyone who needs one. King 5's Jim Foreman tells us more about this mom on a mission.
Nice job, Ellie!
For Deanna White, cheering on her niece comes so easily.
She totally just broke her record. What did you throw?
102 and then 104.
Good job.
Thanks.
I'm so proud of you.
After all, Deanna knows the joys of motherhood. She also knows the heartbreak of outliving a child. Her precious daughter Paris drowned in their backyard pool. She was only 2.
It never goes away. Unfortunately, it's a missing piece. She's a missing piece of my family. And did you see Ellie throw the javelin? No.
It's the kind of tragedy that can tear a family apart. But in the Whites' case, it's drawing them closer together. The Paris White Foundation now works to provide life jackets at public facilities, loaned out for free to those who need them.
It's important to me because drowning is the second leading cause of death amongst children ages 1 to 15. And I just don't want anybody to have to suffer and go through the heartache and pain because it doesn't go away.
Does he want to climb aboard?
King County Sheriff's Deputy Chris Bedker has seen more heartbreak and pain than most. As part of the Marine Patrol, he knows how quickly a beautiful day on the water can turn deadly.
We know people like to get out on the water, and we want to make sure that they're aware of what dangers are out there.
Area rivers are running fast and cold and have already killed this weekend. Deputy Bedker says much of the heartache he sees can be prevented with one simple step.
Wearing a life jacket. I have yet to recover a drowning victim on the bottom of a river or lake that was wearing a life jacket.
Let's go, Abby! Oh, yes!
For Deanna White, it could be so easy to spend this Mother's Day drowning in pity. Instead, she and her family fight to make sure Paris's short life and sudden death means something. With the message, life jackets save lives.
Never get too comfortable because anything can happen in an instant.
Water safety regulations can vary. Experts say common sense and not the law is reason enough to wear a life jacket. A close call for a woman who overturned her kayak on the Spokane River. Rescuers got a call around 4 o'clock this afternoon about an overturned kayak near the Barker Bridge. Authorities searched the riverbanks and eventually found the woman. We're told she managed to make it to shore on her own. Authorities blame several fires in Oregon this weekend on the sun's heat. Clackamas firefighters say they responded to 3 fires in 24 hours because of bark dust.
Typically, we start seeing bark dust fires increase at about 85 degrees. And you can just figure if it's 85 degrees outside for you and I, underneath the bark dust, it would be a temperature about, you could cook your mom a nice Mother's Day cake. So it gets up in triple digits in hundreds of degrees.
That's what happened to a home in Oregon City where a bark dust fire destroyed the porch. We're waiting to learn more about the death of a University of Idaho football player. Ken McRoyal, a senior, was killed early this morning in Los Angeles. Coach Rob Akey called the death a devastating loss. He says all of the team's prayers go to his family. The wide receiver joined the Vandals as a walk-on last year. He played 8 games and earned a scholarship for the upcoming school year. Graduation day finally came for Gonzaga University's class of 2012. More than 1,000 students attended commencement at Spokane Arena today. One of the highlights, a parting message from Archbishop Desmond Tutu. Critics objected to the Nobel Prize winner as commencement speaker. They say the issues he supports don't follow the university's values, but many students say they found him inspiring.
Well, just his message of social justice and how it really just rings true to the heart and the mission of Gonzaga.
He was just super encouraging. He spoke to the issues of the world and just how we can help.
I completely adored how he just made it very clear that we are all equal under one God.
Tutu says he wanted to speak at Gonzaga after reading a student publication on social justice. This year's graduating class was the largest in school history. An Oregon pastor is suing former members of his church for negative reviews posted online. As News Channel 8's Wayne Haverly tells us, the pastor wants $500,000 in damages.
Oh, wait, can I put down some more?
Everyone in this game once belonged to the Beaverton Grace Bible Church. Julianne Smith's family left after she claims church members started shunning them.
I know you're shunning me, but tell me, what did I do wrong? What did our family do wrong?
Smith wrote her concerns about the church in a Google review, but says her comments kept disappearing.
Since my voice was removed from Google, and it wasn't guaranteed to stay there, and I'm not sure why, but I felt like this was one place where I could have a voice.
So Smith started a blog called Beaverton Grace Bible Church Survivors, where many former church members and others share opinions. The site has been viewed nearly 26,000 times since it started a few months ago. Last month, the church's pastor, Charles O'Neill, filed a $500,000 lawsuit against Smith and 3 other former church members, claiming certain words written online, like creepy and control tactics, amount to defamation.
This is the country of freedom where we can say things. And I have to laugh because what I have on my blog is so tame compared to what I read all over the internet.
Attorney Linda Williams represents Smith and says cases like this rarely go to trial. She believes it's frivolous because of free speech protections and the damage request.
It would be extremely difficult to ever prove that that particular wording, that post on February 10th, caused this tremendous $500,000 worth of damage.
I visited Beaverton Grace Bible Church and was told the pastor was too busy to talk. I left my number, but have not heard back.
If this case turns out that Chuck O'Neill wins, I think all of the bloggers and people who have websites on the internet better be shaking in fear.
We're soon going to learn if this case goes to trial. The Smiths filed a motion to dismiss the lawsuit. It goes before a judge in about a week. Just 2 days left for Portland voters to choose their next mayor. Candidates are pushing for last-minute votes this weekend, hoping to persuade undecided voters. Oregon's primary is this Tuesday. Voters need to get their ballots to a drop box by then. The Idaho primary is also just 2 days away, and some analysts are predicting low voter turnout. Legislative district lines were redrawn this year, and for the first time ever, the state Republican Party will hold a closed primary. Voters who pick a GOP candidate will need to register as a Republican. A political analyst says both changes could discourage voting.
Turnout in Idaho has been pathetic for many years. So we're talking about a very narrow slice of the electorate who are making very important decisions in this primary.
That analyst tells us less than 20% of eligible Idaho voters participate in the primary. Coming up, protecting our police. The status on a proposed law supported by both sides of the aisle. And Don Carson will be back with a look at your complete forecast. You're watching Northwest News.